like to now introduce Dr. Mukesh Aghi. He is the President and Chief Executive Officer of the US-India Strategic Partnership Forum. Please welcome Dr. Mukesh Aghi.
We operate on two principles. Number one, economic prosperity of India is good for America and American companies. And the second principle we operate is a military strong India is good for regional stability. What does that mean? On first principle, we are focused on trying to drive trade between the two countries to $500 billion, which is around now almost $200 billion. The second, on the first principle also, our focus is to bring in roughly 500,000 students to study in America. And more important is, 70% end up being in the STEM program, and see how many can fill the skill gap which we are seeing as we move forward itself. So that's the first principle. The second principle on military strong India. Today, India, 52% of the platform is Russian. Our objective is how do we basically make that into more self-sufficient, more manufactured in India. And we recently had the ISET dialogue, where we talked about critical technology transfer. And one of the objectives we have is when the Prime Minister of India comes in June, that we are able to move at least the GE engine project into India itself. So we are focused on trying to drive, and it's a win-win value proposition between the two countries. We had roughly over $35 billion investment from US companies into India. We had almost $12 billion from India into the US. So it's a reciprocal investment which we're working on between the two countries. We focus a lot on trying to have China plus one strategy for US companies. For example, we're working with almost over 200 companies from US companies which are trying to have China plus one strategy. One of the first companies which we worked on was Apple. Apple by next year will be producing roughly around 20 million iPhone 14s in India to be exported to the rest of the world, which is around 7% of its manufacturing. So I think it's a win-win value proposition we're working on, and I just want to say congratulations to the organizers for organizing the session. Thank you for having me, and have a pleasant evening.